When you're reading the case book, keep two questions in mind. The first question is, what did the judge hold, and how did they, get to that decision? What was their rationale? And the second question would be, do you agree with them? When law students come into law school, I think they're a little afraid to go against what the judge says, but that's the best thing that you can do, because that's the sort of questions that you're going to get on an exam.
Study early. I think, a lot of times people wait towards the end of the semester and it's just a lot of work to get done in a month or 6 weeks. I like to, at the end of every week, sit down with my class notes and sit down with my book and perhaps a horn book if necessary, and try and condense everything so that at the end of the semester I already have a rough outline and I'm not starting from scratch and trying to remember things that I learned 4 months ago and may have forgotten.
Take advantage of the professors that you have in terms of, they're going to open up their office doors to you. They're going to make themselves available. They're all experts in the fields in which they're teaching. And so, if you have questions, ask. If you have questions during class, don't be bashful. Raise your hand and ask.
Take your professors out to lunch. You cannot possibly overestimate the value of doing that. It's great. There's a friend of mine who said that you think your life is all in your 1L year, but the fact is there's a whole world beyond, and these professors have lived it. It's true.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to talk in class. Sometimes there's sort of a little bit of sort of a social thing about not being a gunner. But if you have questions, ask them. It's the only way you're really going to learn.
Read. Read carefully. Read carefully the first time. If you have to go back at the end of the semester and reread things, it's not going to be very good for you.
Make sure that you connect with your professor both in and out of the classroom. Don't be a stranger in terms of that professor's office hours. I think that a lot of students try and go about learning the material on their own. Just keep in mind that the professor is there to assist with your being able to process the material and understand it.
Take as much notes in class as possible and really get to figure out how the professor thinks about problems. Not necessarily how they would answer them, but how they would tackle legal issues.